Right, welcome ladies and gents to the Penguin episode 3 review. I don't know if my heart can take much more of this. The constant, up and down. Is Oz gonna win? Is he gonna die? Obviously he's not gonna die. Maybe he will at the end, who knows? I don't know. This episode was great. This episode was solid. Really solid, actually. It was fantastic. It's so... The amount of puzzle pieces that are being put together, each and every single episode, the constant game playing is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. It almost seems convoluted, but it's not. It's portrayed in a way which actually makes a lot of sense. Right? So, Oz had those photos of Johnny Vitti and the new big boss man's wife, and you're like, cool, he's gonna, get the upper hand on Johnny Vitti. And then sort of fails here and there, consistent failing. The jewels, they were going to come in at some point. They've gone elsewhere now. And then all of a sudden, the Johnny Vitti plan continues in a different way. And you're like, brilliant. It's that smart way of, using information that you can as and when the opportunity presents itself. Oswald Cobb is just the most opportunistic chap ever, but he's intelligent enough to pull it off. Well, maybe. The end of this episode was certainly interesting, wasn't it? So anyway, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I really loved spending a little bit more time with Victor. Genuinely, I thought that was amazing. What a great way to open. So we open with Victor, with his mom, his dad. And it's during the events at the end of the Batman. And at that point, I hadn't quite clicked that it was during that time. I should have done. Obviously, I did when the explosions went off, but I should have done, and I didn't. But it was really well done. Learning just a little bit more about this character. Because the thing about these background characters, these supporting characters, is a lot of shows tend to put them front and center quite quickly, and we don't care about them that much. We're not interested. But a lot of our main characters get sidelined for these side characters in a lot of modern shows. One of the most egregious recently was Ahsoka. So the title character Ahsoka was sidelined a lot for Sabine Wren, right? Like most episodes, it was all about Sabine Wren, which was really bizarre. The Mandalorian, the most recent season, was all about bloody Bo-Katan. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Now, for the Penguin, they've done a really smart thing, is just focus on the Penguin. And, of course, Sofia Falcone. But they focused on the Penguin, front and centre. Now, we know a little bit about Vic, and we've learned a little bit more here and there as the episodes have progressed, but we've not really got to grips with who he is. Right, where they're drip feeding us information. Which is a really smart way because it endears us to this character more and more. And then we learn a little bit more about their relationship, so the Penguin and Victor's relationship. And sort of we develop from there. So I thought that was really smart. Smart writing. We constantly say that Hollywood is bankrupt creatively, but this is very smart writing. It's good writing. It's narratively smart. Just from that perspective. Main characters, information, all of that stuff. That's good writing. So massive props. And it really should be front and centre for most people's reviews, I think, personally. But anyway, learning a little bit more about Victor was great. The explosions going off, the sort of terrifying fear that was felt. And also, Victor is a representation of Gotham. Gotham's sort of lower class, I guess, if you will. Him and his girlfriend, or I don't know, kind of girlfriend, they're the representation of Gotham's underworld. The sort of not underworld, but the lower class. Because one seeks a better life elsewhere, understands that there's nothing really in Gotham for that individual anymore and goes off elsewhere. Victor is the other side of that coin where he still wants something in Gotham and he knows now that he has to really work to get it. Criminal activity. But I thought that was really smart. Anyway, that was great. And then, of course, we get to our main meat of the episode. The Penguin teaming up with Sofia Falcone, which was brilliant. Christine Milioti is brilliant. She is just epic. What a fantastic actress. She's sort of scary, sexy, sassy. You don't know quite what she's going to do. Plays the part really, really well. Stunning actress. Great. Really, 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 really good. Exactly what you want in that character. It's not ham-fisted. The portrayal's not ham-fisted. It's done in such a good way. Yeah, she's great. Miliotti's fantastic. What a great actor. And also, Colin Farrell's Penguin in this was brilliantly portrayed. Because, again, we're drip-feeding more information about Victor. And you see the Penguin interacting with him on a more personal level. You know, at one point they're out to dinner. And he's stuttering and a waiter interrupts him. And the Penguin obviously sees himself in this Victor guy. You know, the Penguin has a disability. I'm not saying that a stutter is a disability, mind you. That's not what I'm saying. But the Penguin clearly sees a little bit of himself in this character. This chap that he's taken under his wing. Pun intended. And, you know, he shouts down the waiter. No. Let the man speak. Shut up. Which I thought was great. Really, really, really good. You know, it shows a human side to Oz. Which, you know, you're not going to get very often with this character. And it's not that you need it. But it's interesting to learn a little bit more of the sort of psychological element of this character. So I really like that. But anyway, their great master plan is, of course, to get this new drug, Bliss, on the streets. It's a sort of, like I don't know, a new drug, whatever. Who knows what it actually is? They didn't really display how it was, how it functions. And they got to work with the triads, which I thought was really good. All of that whole scene was fantastically portrayed. The Penguin thinking on his feet, like really thinking on his feet on what to do, how to say it, how to manipulate the situation. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And then Victor leaving after being the bagman for the night, doing really, really well. And, you know, I will say I think that the Penguin sort of called his bluff. I think Oz called his bluff a little bit there. You know, saying, well, no, not necessarily called his bluff. I think Oz was lying when he said you're not a hostage. I don't think Victor could go at any time. I don't think so at all. I think Oz is potentially playing a bit of a psychological game with him. Or either that, he was genuinely offended by the thought because he likes Victor and he is keeping him around, albeit very flippantly based on his emotions, because Penguin is very, very flippant. But I like that as well. I thought that was really, really smart. And then Victor, of course, coming back to save the day as the Maronis swoop in and go, "You're playing us," which I've got no idea where they're going to go with this now. But remember, the Penguin does have Johnny Vidi in his pocket at the moment, so he can potentially play all of them. Johnny Vidi's banging the wife of the head honcho, so we can play him. And now Sofia Falcone also has a new drug business underneath the big boss man. So the Penguin can technically try and play her, but I don't know which way they're going to go with it. Maybe it'll go a completely different way. Who knows? I think this is the beauty of the show. It's so well written. I genuinely have no idea where they're going to go moving forwards. Yeah, really, really smart. One scene in particular I really liked is when Johnny Vidi was saying, when the Penguin and Sofia Falcone jump him whilst he's banging the boss man's wife, and Johnny Vidi starts talking back, the rage that you can see building up in the Penguin, you know, the absolute rage being belittled by this man, shoves the phone in his mouth. Like, this guy is a psycho, and he has such conviction, and it's not that he's relatable, but it's that human element that we've learnt a little bit more about. I love it. I just think it's great. So anyway, great scene, great episode. What did you guys think? Let me know down below. Where do you think it's going to go? I've got no idea. Let me know. The roller coaster continues. Anyway, leave a video a like. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.